Friends, so again, as you already keep hearing about data everywhere, right? So whether you are from your personal perspective, or if you're working in an organization or any industry, any enterprise, if you take, there is humongous amount of data is getting generated. Okay, let me take a quick example. Right, for example, if you see, if on a personal side, right? For example, the day morning we woke up and see our WhatsApps, and there's so much of the different apps, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth, right? So that's the one source of data is getting generated. And if you go for a walking or a jogging or gym, you wear a digital watch, right? And certain amount of data being collected there over. And if you go to office, your commute and all, right? For example, if you use Google Map to reach to place A to place B, and if you see any traffic issues or anything, Google collects that data, and it passes that information to your next one who is also coming on the way, right? And if you go to office, you swipe in, swipe out, there is again data being generated. And and uh, and if you look back the product and services that you take, right? If you take a for example, coffee or anything, right? So and if you go back, the coffee machine coming from Unilever, and then Unilever has a huge amount of data machines to collect that. Okay, so all in all, if you take all these steps, whatever you have doing so far, you see humongous amount of data being collected, and that's the reason, if you given a word for the current age, we call it the information age. So information is available at every tip and every place. Okay, and you would have heard of this internet, digital, right? Global communication network, technology, computer, modern data. So all these are making and part of this information as and making everybody life easy, and it's driving the digital transformation. Okay, so why do we need this? Why is people are so much of reliant on data and all? Right? Because we need informed decision making. Whether you are a personal, whether you are a CEO of a company, right? So you need a data to be backed by the decisions you are going to make. Otherwise, if you make a any random decision without data, it may fail, and that's going to cost millions of dollars to your organization. So the data, to mitigate that risk, right? To mitigate the, particularly after COVID, to mitigate that risk, everybody is behind the data. Okay, without data, nothing going to happen. And that's how the entire digital transformation ecosystem is working. Okay, and also enhance the productivity, right? So 10 years back we used to do the same task you have to do with a less amount of time now. That's how the organizations are increasing productivity. Okay, so that is the reason organizations are making an effort to available information, so that you can take and you can use that information and work fast and work smarter. And these are the three pillars of becoming an AI driven organization. Okay, so artificial intelligence is, yes, is taking up, and it's storming like anything ever before. So every company, every organization, every manufacturing unit, every division of organization are stressed more on implementing artificial intelligence into their products. Okay, now let's take it back and see what are some of the businesses are driving only with the data, right? So if you take a Uber, how Uber makes money? Can somebody answer? Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so how Uber makes money?
Charging the customer money.
Okay. So basically you are planning to travel from a point A to point B, right? So you got a request, say that, hey, I want to go to point A to point B. Now what Uber does, Uber collects the data and processes the data And Uber runs a huge data platform. Okay, it has all the partner ecosystems, it has all the businesses around you, it has all the information that in and around you. Okay, so it is during with using their partner ecosystem, it finds the the cabs available in your area, and it will gives you the cab, and that's how you pay and they make money, right? So that doesn't mean that Uber has owned their cabs and all. No, they are not owning anything. They're basically combining and they're connecting the consumer and the service provider. Similarly, Airbnb, if you want to go for a vacation, so that location Airbnb has tied up with multiple partnerships, and then based on your need and thing, and they just tied up with they will give you a partner, and then that's how the service is going to be availed, and they're going to make money. Okay, so under the hood, what happens? They're sitting with the huge data, and there is a huge technical data teams operating under the hood, and they give you all these recommendations, all the deals and the discounts across. Okay, if you remove the data processing part out of Uber or Airbnb, they're zero. They're nothing. They can't able to operate anything, then they can't able to make any revenues. Okay, similarly Netflix, if you log into Netflix, if you have any subscription Netflix, the moment you log in, immediately it will give you recommendation saying that people like you watching these web series, people like you watch these movies, people like commented or recommended to use these source. How Netflix know that you like somebody is like the people, somebody like you has watched this movie, and how is recommending to you? It's because of data. So they collect a huge data and day in day out, and they process that, and they use the recommendation systems. Okay, so that's the reason these are all called 21st century businesses, and data is going to play play a huge role in these businesses. And if you see, as I said, data engineering, right? Go to Uber data engineering blog. Okay, you will see a lot of stuff over there. Okay, this is a big hundreds and thousands of people are data engineers working with Uber. Similarly, Airbnb. You go to Airbnb website and see the technical blog. You see so much of engineering going to happen. And similarly, Netflix. You go and check the Netflix technical blog. You will see a lot of information about their data engineering practices, their best practices, what they do. Right. So this is where, if you remember, as I said, right, data is there everywhere, and it's becoming part of everybody businesses. And every company is becoming a data company, whether you're a manufacturer, whether you're a service based, and anything. And the landscape is increasing day by day with the more and technological and tools. And as I said, data is a backbone of your artificial intelligence models. If you remove data out of artificial intelligence, nothing is there. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is basically machines learn from data and they do their own. Let's say that if you are doing a task, if you are doing a task 1 2 3, and if the same data, if you train a machine learning model, they can also do task 1 2 3, right? For example, robotics. What robotics do? How do they do? Because of the data, they trained on huge data and they know what to do. Okay, so again, the data engineer is becoming a sexy job of the century. So if you take back um, a different life cycle of a, for example, we have a software engineer, right? Software architects, and so on and so forth. Now the data engineer is becoming a more and more, and it's been named as a sexy job of the century. Okay, and data engineering definitely an important of in everybody's business, whether you are a, as I said, whether you are a small enterprise, big enterprise, or you're an MNC, doesn't matter. Everybody have to use the data, and then the data engineering become core part of everybody's business. Okay, so now why I'm telling all this, I want to make you, since you are taking a first step to become a data engineering. So the objective of this course is to and learn data engineering with using Azure Data Factory and Azure Databricks. So Azure is basically a cloud provider from Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft Cloud is named as Azure. So why we are learning Microsoft Azure? Because it has a more market share, and you see everybody and every clients and every organization use tied up with Microsoft. So that's the reason if you learn Microsoft stack, it will be easy for you to whether you are whether you want to learn get into a new job, or you want to get into a new project, it will be easy for you to get in and expand. Okay, and now the training format I'll quickly talk about. It's a the training is a combination of three. Okay, we will be teaching concepts with hands-on and along with the real-time scenarios. Okay, so you will understand the concept and you will do hands-on how exactly that works the concept, and then how exactly the concept is related to the real time, because there is a huge gap between the concept and the real time. Okay, so that's where we wanted to give you a real time scenarios how these concepts are working in a real time project and a situation, and accordingly so that you will understand, not only understand, you will remember doing hands on, and you will also thoughtful about the real time scenarios, so that if tomorrow somebody asks, tell me how we have used it, so on and so forth, you will be able to explain that. Okay, and quickly I'll cover the syllabus part, and then we'll get into any questions if you guys have. All right, so we have multiple sections, starting with introduction to big data. So what is big data, how big data is generated, what are the different advantage, and why there is a lot of buzz about big data, and what are the different scenarios with the different domains. And then we'll come to the Azure Data Factory. So what is Azure Data Factory, and working with the different services or within the Azure Data Factory. For example, you see link services, data sets, activities, all the services within the Data Factory. You will be taught to concepts, and also in a hands-on on these services, and also how these services are making used in real time. Okay, and a free account, free tier account will be created for you to practice. Okay, Microsoft provides a free tier accounts of certain credits for a 30 days of period, so you can use that to practice and do some hands-on. And then we'll also touch upon some of the cloud computing basics. For example, what is storage, what is compute, right, and how they interact with each other, and what are the different pros and cons, and how do they help in making the big data engineering, right? So we will learn all the stuff. And finally, we'll do copying files, right? What is blob storage, and what is the CSV file, JSON file, how to work with CSV, JSON, and so on and so forth. Okay, and finally, we'll also touch upon SQL database. So Azure SQL database, if you already worked or haven't heard of this, so we'll be creating a SQL database, and we will integrating Azure Data Factory with the SQL database. So you will know what is a relational database, how it been created, right? How to create a tables, how to create a stored procs, how to create a SQL database. Okay, and how to copy file actional data from a file to the table, and table to file, right? So all these concepts you are going to be learned out of that. And after that, we within SQL database to SQL database also we can do the transformations. Okay, and then we'll come to the Key Vault. Key Vault is another services from the Microsoft. So we'll learn more about what is Key Vault, how it's going to be used in the real time, and what are the benefits, and all we are going to do that. And some of the advanced concepts like change data capture, and event triggers, Okay, so how do we create a pipeline? How do we schedule a pipeline to run in a particular day time, so on and so forth. All right. So once that we will work with some of the project based pipeline. So we will give it we'll give a weekly exercise to you, so that we'll give a project, kind of a mini project, so that you will brainstorm and you will work on creating the pipeline, right? So using different activities that we learned so far, so you will be using that to create that mini project. Okay, and then we'll also working with the JSON. So if you heard about JSON, so you're going to work with JSON now. And also GitHub. So what is GitHub, what how it's the importance of GitHub in this journey also you're going to work upon. And finally, once you identify the data, you need to do data transformations, right? Without transformation, it's not going to be used. Okay, so we'll do some integration and transformation using the data flows. So what is data flow, what is mapping data flow, how the data flow going to be used in transforming the data. And then some of SQL, again SQL join, SQL basics as part of the Azure SQL database. We're going to learn that as well. Okay, so once we are done with that, Databricks will come into picture. So what is Databricks? What is Azure Databricks, and what is that architecture? And you will learn Spark, right? Spark, and how to interact with Spark using Python. So PySpark is what we are going to, as part of this course, you are going to learn. And within Azure Databricks, there are so many. We're going to do a walk around the interface, workspaces, data management, configuration, compute management. So all these stuff we are going to learn. And finally, we are going to create notebooks and interact with the data using Spark. Okay, so Python APIs, PySpark, how to do that, and creating multiple notebooks, options, yeah, parameterizing, so on and so forth. You will learn as well. All right. So once we're done with that, so how the Databricks is integrating with the Azure services? For example, ADLS, for example, Azure Blob Storage. All right. So all these things we are going to learn as part of the PySpark. Okay, and again integrating with the Azure Synapses, SQL database, so on and so forth, and then reading files from Azure Data Lake to Databricks, and then transforming the data as we need. Okay, so data frames, you would have heard about data frames, RDDs. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to work with reading from SQL, writing to SQL, and write using the Spark SQL, how to access them. So all these things you're going to learn, guys. Okay, and Excel. Okay, so Excel is another important component of data store, right? So a lot of companies still managing with their Excels to keep the data. So we are going to learn how to get the out of data from Excel, and then process the data to get insights. Right, that's the reason PySpark. This is PySpark is going to come into place. So you will learn Spark with PySpark. Okay, and their benefits and so on and so forth. The architecture, the internal components, right? And the and how efficient is there? Why do we need PySpark, and what is Spark SQL? All this stuff. If you're not gone through this content, we can share with content. You can go through that, and we will be learning about all these things. And finally, I wanted to give uh, few things. What difference will make? Okay, so you can see. So you will get expert instruction. So I've been working with the industry more than 12 plus years. So with the top MNCs on the data side, and you'll get an access to the real-time project training. As I said, the hands-on and industry-oriented projects will be given to you to practice and do the hands-on, and 100% practical sessions. As I said, it's not just a theoretical. Theoretical doesn't make not just theoretical will not make any sense. So we'll more focused on theoretical plus hands-on plus real time. And there will going to be weekly assignments. As I said, weekly you're going to given an assignment and solve a problem. That's again to test your knowledge in terms of what you learned so far. And then of course at the end you will have interview questions, whether you are preparing for a job or whether you are switching upskilling yourself, or so these interview questions will help you yourself familiar with to face the interviews. And this entire course going to be 50 plus live sessions, so every day is going to be 1 hour session. At the last exactly, um, so it's going to be your our objective is to make you interview success, right? So in whatever the way we can um, assist and help you. So our whole objective is you face your interview success with the gain confidence, and crack the interviews, so that you can start your journey. And more importantly, the enrollment form is available in the chart, you can access that. And yeah.
Yeah, Purushottam, one question. First, you start ADF. Second is after finish ADF is ADB. After that is Spice Park.
Correct. So ADB with Spice Park.
Oh, ADB. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi Sam, is this we have the syllabus, the attached with the email. That's the agenda. I mean the format we're gonna use when we start the actual class, like Azure fundamentals, and then you're gonna cover Azure SQL for at least 8 hours. That's what it says on the document here. And then you're gonna cover 20 hours for Azure Data Factory, which is the main component of this course, data engineering. And then you're gonna do 20 hours for Azure Databricks.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Azure Synapse, which is the data warehouse.
Yeah.
On the cloud. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. So it's end to end on the.
Absolutely
Azure.
right.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Perfect. And then at the end, actual scenario project. Perfect. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Sam.
Okay, I just sent you. Somebody was asking the link. I just sent you. Hope you got it. Sai Mohan. Sai, did you get that link? Sai Mohan.
No, I did not got. Let me check it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you
got
check?
it. Got it. Now got it.
Yeah. So you can register over there. Everybody register over there, and the team will get in touch with you. And again, the batch will be starting soon, and
Okay.
next couple of days, and then we are ready to roll out the batch. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks, and once again, congrats for taking the first step to become a Azure data engineer, and then we'll have a long way to go. Definitely, we'll have our support to transition your role to become a data engineer. Okay, wish you good luck. Please use these numbers to get in with the team, and they will help you in terms of all the logistics. Okay.